Welcome back to the Demon Slayer Gaming Channel. We're going to be continuing our Final Fantasy XIV Dungeon Guide series today. We're going to be taking a look at one of the new normal raids released in patch 6.4, Anabaseios, the 10th Circle. Now for this dungeon, the boss will be locked in place, so you don't have to worry about his placement at all. He'll start off with Silk Spit. This is going to put a large circular AoE on several party members. You want to move away from all other party members along with the poles that are in the arena. If you are next to any of them, then you will be linked to them by a layer of silk that a different party member will have to walk through to remove it. He'll then do Pandemonic Pillars. This will do several AoEs on the platform that one party member will need to stand in each of them. The first time it is cast, it will do a circular AoE on its location shortly afterwards, so you want to make sure to move away from these. He'll then do Ultima, which is just going to do party-wide damage, along with applying a bleed effect on all party members. Before doing another Pandemonic Pillars, this time there will be an angelic type figure that will come out of it with a halo. This means that it's going to do a small donut AoE, so it's actually very safe to stand underneath the drop location. He'll follow up with a Pandemonic Meltdown. This is a group up mechanic that will fire in a line, so as long as you're anywhere within the line's effect, you will split the damage. Before going into a Soul Grasp. This is a double tank buster that hits multiple times, so make sure that you're stacking up if you're the tanks and staying grouped up until it is done hitting all 4 times. Entangling Web is going to be Silk Spit, but it's going to actually cast it on the pillars and the ground, so you just want to move away into the open areas. He'll follow up with a Silk Spit right afterwards, which will put the AoE on several party members. Now that the bridges have been formed because of the entangling web, you can actually move to the sides of the pillars for easy areas to spread this AoE out. Pandemonic Ray will do an AoE on 50% of the platform, so you just want to always make sure you're behind his head. Parted Flumes is going to put a circular AoE in the middle of the platform that will persist doing damage over time, and then do multiple cone AoEs that will have 2 different patterns that transition around the platform, and you'll want to just move with these to avoid being hit by it. He'll then do another Pandemonic Meltdown, so make sure that you're grouping up, followed by another Soul Grasp Tank Buster. After this, we'll go into another Entangling Web, so just move out of the AoEs into the open areas. Followed by another Pandemonic Ray, so you'll want to move behind where his head is looking. And then doing Touchdown. This ability will instant kill anyone that is affected by it, and you'll need to move to the outside platform, whichever one is connected to the middle by the web bridge. He'll follow up with another Ultima for party-wide damage and continuous bleed effect on all party members. And then going into another Pandemonic Pillars. This time you'll have to watch and see which of the effects will happen. We got the Angelic Figure with the Halo, so it's the Donut AoEs, so you could just easily stay underneath it. I'll then do another Pandemonic Meltdown group up AoE, so make sure that you're in line with everyone else. And then he'll go into a Harrowing Hell. He'll only use this ability one time for the entire fight. It does significant continuous damage to the entire party, and then as the final hit does a knockback that will knock you almost off the platform if you are not at the very end near him. So you need to move to the very front along with applying significant healing and defense cooldowns if you have it at this time. After this, I'll do another Parted Plumes for the circular AoE in the center of the platform, along with the cone AoEs that you'll just reposition after the first one to avoid all of the others. And then he'll do a Wicked Step. This will be two different pillars that each tank will need to stay inside one of them to absorb the damage. And then go for another Pandemonic Pillars. Again, keep an eye out for which of the figures comes out of the top of it to know if you need to move or if you stay underneath. If you would like, you can just always move and go into the openings, as there will be some adequate space to move in between all of these. He'll then do another Entangling Web, so you'll want to move out of the AoEs, along with identifying which area is going to be linked to the outside platform. Before going into another touchdown, so you'll need to move to that outside platform to avoid being killed. If you do happen to step off of the bridge into the poison, it will apply a poison damage over time effect to you. The damage is not terrible, but it can stack up pretty quickly, so you'll want to avoid stepping in this if possible. I'll follow up with a Pandemonic Meltdown, and then immediately go into a Silk Spit, so you'll need to spread out along the platform. Since the outside platform is still linked, if you need to, you can move over to the outside to avoid being linked to anyone. If you do get linked, like you see here, someone just has to walk in between the white lines to break them. You'll need to do this quickly, as he's going to follow up with a Pandemonic Ray, so everyone will need to get behind the head. Before going into another Parted Plumes. So you'll want to move out of the center of the platform, find where the cone AoEs are starting at, and then move into the original location once the first one goes off. He'll then go into his Soulgrass Tank Buster. Before casting a Ultima for party-wide damage and continuous damage over time effect. Next, he'll go into another Pandemonic Pillars. If any of the pillars make landfall without someone being underneath them, then they will cause party-wide damage along with stacking a vulnerability stack, so you want to make sure there is one party member per. After this, he'll follow up with an Entangling Web. And then going into an immediate touchdown. At this point, the fight will generally start to repeat itself. So if you made it this far, you should be able to complete the fight rather easily. Next will be the Pandemonic Meltdown. Followed by a Silk Spit. And then a Pandemonic Ray. I'll then do another Parted Plumes. And then followed with another Soulgrass Tank Buster. And then finally, we'll end with another Ultima for party-wide damage. But this should be it for Anabaseios, the 10th Circle. I hope this helped everyone out. If it did, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I will catch you on the next one.